prairie stretched wide and quiet beneath a pale morning sky, the kind of stillness that made a person feel small and watched all at once. Dust lifted with each step she took toward the corral, her boots worn thin from miles she hadn't planned to walk. She paused at the fence, fingers curling around the weathered wood as if it might steady the ache in her chest. No one had ever kissed her anywhere, not on the forehead in comfort, not on the hand in promise. She had grown up learning how to survive, not how to be held. And now, standing on the edge of a ranch she barely knew, she wondered if that kind of gentleness was meant for other people. The cowboy noticed her before she noticed him. He stood near the gate, hat pulled low, sleeves rolled, hands rough with work. He had the look of a man shaped by long days and longer silences. When she turned, their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Recognition, maybe, or the simple understanding of two souls carrying more weight than they showed. "You're early," he said, voice low and steady. "I didn't sleep," she replied honestly. He nodded as if that made sense. Around them, the ranch stirred awake, horses shifting, a distant clank of metal, the promise of another hard day. He gestured toward the house. "Coffee's on." Inside, the air smelled of wood smoke and fresh grounds. She sat at the small table, hands wrapped around the mug he set before her. For a while, they said nothing. Silence wasn't awkward with him. It felt allowed. She studied the room, the plain furniture, the careful order. A life built on discipline. "You live alone?" she asked. "Mostly," he said. "Ranch hands come and go." She smiled faintly. "I know the feeling." When she finished her coffee, she stood, unsure what came next. He cleared his throat. "You don't have to decide anything today." "I know," she said. "But staying still has never been my strength." He considered her, then opened the door. "Walk with me." They moved across the land together, the sun rising higher, painting the fields gold. He showed her the fences that needed mending, the creek that ran low in summer, the oak tree that had stood longer than either of them. She listened, not just to his words but to the care behind them. This land mattered to him. It was the one thing he trusted to stay. At the edge of the pasture, she stopped. "Why did you agree to meet me?" she asked softly. "You could have said no." He took a long breath. "Because you wrote like someone who was tired of running." Her throat tightened. "And you?" "I'm tired of standing still." The wind lifted her hair, and without thinking, she reached up to smooth it back. Her fingers brushed his wrist. He stiffened, not pulling away, but not leaning in either. The moment hung between them, fragile as glass. "I don't want to scare you," she said quickly. "You're not," he replied. His voice shook, just a little, and that startled her. This strong, capable man, shaken by a simple touch. "I just haven't been touched in a long time." She met his eyes. "Neither have I." They stood there, the prairie watching, as if the land itself held its breath. Slowly, carefully, he turned his hand so their palms met. It wasn't a grand gesture. Just warmth, shared. Enough to make her heart race. Days passed like that, quiet, purposeful, filled with small moments that grew in meaning. Shared meals. Laughter that surprised them both. Evenings on the porch as the sky burned red and then softened to blue. She helped where she could, learned the rhythms of the ranch, found a peace she hadn't known she was missing. One evening, a storm rolled in fast and fierce. Thunder cracked overhead, rain pounding the roof. She startled at the sound, memories rising unbidden. Before she could stop herself, she reached for him. He caught her hands, holding them firmly. "It's all right," he said. "You're safe here." The words settled deep. Safe. No one had ever promised her that and meant it. When the storm passed, the air felt new, washed clean. They stepped outside together. Stars emerged, bright and endless. She turned to him, heart pounding. "I don't know how to do this," she admitted. "Whatever this is." He smiled, gentle. "We learn as we go." She took a breath, then leaned forward, pressing her forehead to his chest. It was a small thing, but it felt like crossing a boundary she'd never dared approach. His arms came around her slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. In that embrace, she felt the truth of him, steady, present, choosing to stay. Tears slipped free, and she didn't hide them. He didn't ask her to. "I've never been held like this," she whispered. Me neither, he replied. They didn't need more than that. No promises spoken too soon. Just the knowledge that something real had begun. Weeks later, as autumn edged closer, she stood at the same fence where she'd first arrived. This time, the ache in her chest was different. Not fear, but fullness. He joined her, resting an elbow on the rail. Thinking again? He asked. She smiled. I was remembering who I was when I got here. And who are you now? She looked at him, eyes bright. Someone who believes she can stay. He reached for her hand, their fingers lacing naturally now. The prairie stretched on, vast and open, but she no longer felt lost within it. She had found something rare, not just love, but belonging. As the sun dipped low, she leaned into him, and he held her close, steady as the land beneath their feet. And in that quiet moment, she understood that the gentlest touches can shake a person to their core, not with hunger, but with hope.